Hi, I'm Faye Reineberg Holt, and welcome to my office. I'm a writer. I've written many books, and today I want to talk to you about writing journals. Many of you might have already written a journal or started a journal, and you might want to continue with that, or it might be a new thing to you. If you look at the journal that's right beside me, uh, this is a very special one to me. A friend of mine used to always give me these beautiful journals, and this is handmade paper and blank inside and gorgeous. And she gave me another one with a line of poetry that I might write about. So she's been encouraging me for a long time. But I found that my writing was just too messy. I didn't want to put my messy writing in this beautiful book. And so eventually what I did is go back to sheets of paper I had um, that I had journal entries on, scribblers that I had. And so I pasted them in here. And now it's a very special keepsake to me. I've written, as I said, many, many books, and they're mostly about Western Canada's past. In doing so, in my research, I've gone to old journals, and I have found wonderful things about what people's lives were really like at a particular time in our history. And I've been able to use that as part of my research for the books I've written. So I do think what you write today can matter a great deal in the future, and I encourage you to write journals. This is another keepsake journal of mine. This was my mother-in-law's journal. She was on a trip. It's not very full. She didn't write on many pages, but it is a very important keepsake to us now. So who keeps journals? Yes, travelers do, and students and educators do. Writers and artists do. But athletes do too, and they often keep track of their progress, either in their training or in their sport. They keep track of that so they can keep building on their skills. Business people and service people and healthcare professionals keep journals too. They don't necessarily think of them as a journal, but when they're writing what happened on a given day, who did they see, what did they observe or learn, what mattered in terms of their own business or profession. They keep track of that, and really it's a kind of journal. Nature buffs do too. And everyone in good times and hard times can have a terrific journal, one that's well worth keeping. What's in a journal? Well, I will say I like journals that start with the day, the month, and the year. And I like that because then we can go back and we can say, this is what happened at this time in this particular place. And we can look at that sometimes many years later and know what life was really like for people. People keep track of special events, whatever might be in your community, but they also keep track of the hard times and how those hard times are impacting them. So those are both very important. And of course, your progress with anything, lessons or anything else, but you can also have funny things in your journal. And here we were in Mexico. This was a wonderful sculpture outside a store, a simple store, and I loved it. It was so detailed. But I thought the woman driving the car was very funny. And so it has become a good image of something funny to me. And you might do the same thing. Now, what kind of journal do you want? That's another question we face. I like these little coil books with flowers or pets or pretty scenes on the front. That appeals to me. But you might like superheroes. And there are lots of scribblers with images of superheroes or images from movies and dinosaurs and all those kinds of things on them. And they are perfectly wonderful for journals. You might even cut out pictures from magazines or put, of course, your own pictures in, and that becomes part of the journal too. Today, we have high-tech journals, and I'll talk a little bit more about those in the third session. But there is no right or wrong format. It's a matter of what works for you. And don't judge yourself too harshly. If your writing is a bit messy or something that you don't feel quite as good about, it's not a problem. This is your journal, and you need to find what works for you. I hope you'll start your journal or continue your journal today. You might choose something like I miss, or I wonder about when things will be easier, or I dream of. What profession do you dream of doing? Or what are the other things you might dream of accomplishing? Also, it might be who you're thinking about, and there are many people that we think about that are very important to us, and that can go in your journal too. Writing can sometimes be a bit like climbing a mountain, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's too big a mountain for me to climb. Well, this is my favorite mountain in the Rockies. This is Mount Sir Donald, and we have hiked part of it. It's a stunning mountain, and no matter what the experience that you try, it might seem easy, and then it might get hard, and then it might get easier again. But whatever you put in your journal will be important to you or someone else at some time. And keeping track of those journeys or journals becomes very important. So thank you very much for being with me. I do hope you are involved with your journal soon, and you might join me for not just a journal too. Good luck with your writing, and thanks to Young Alberta Book Society for their work on this particular project. It's been important to all of us.